Hey everyone, it's baze.djunkiii transmitting from Hamburg, Germany, back with a new video, and back with a new unboxing video. I received a bit of mail throughout the past days, but wasn't able to shoot a video properly because I caught the sniffles quite badly and my voice sounded weird, and well, my whole nose and my whole sinuses were clogged up, and it wasn't fun. I had some bit of a headache and stuff, so I wasn't feeling like shooting a video, and I didn't want to sound too nasal and too ill on camera anyway. So now let's dive into this one, coming in from Greece, from the man George Mastrokostas from Athens. You know the score. He's the head of the Sound and Silence label, which is a main staple in Greek, ambient, chill out, post-rock music, and a bit of post-rock infused left field pop over the past year, or over the past releases. So they have opened their spectrum a little bit, and he has been sending me a lot of releases over the past years, and now this one feels like two, so let's dive into this. But before that, well, I've been quite busy recently, and today especially, I've recorded a new radio show once again, exploring very, very classic late 90s minimal techno and early 2000s hypnotic spiraling acid stuff, and recorded another show a few days ago, which will go probably to Cutter's Choice Radio in London, which was like classic electro from the early days, early 80s to now. And well, I feel pretty much inspired to do a lot of radio shows, even though the DJing aspect and looking out and hunting gigs down has totally vanished from my life, or the thought of that has totally vanished from my life recently. So but radio shows is pretty fun, and I think about new mixes and new ways of putting records together all day, every day, kind of. So a lot of inspiration on that front. We'll see if that ever translates again to club gigs. But now let's dive into this one, which opens pretty quickly and easily, which I appreciate. And well, as I thought, there are two releases in here, coming with their respective press infos. So let's have a look at this one first, which is probably a name I'm familiar with. I don't have any idea. No, a name I'm definitely not familiar with. O Pandolfo Patterns Sound and Silence 108, released on November 13th last year. So here is a full press sheet. Still love the logo massively. And what we got here is the addition of O Pandolfo to the roster of the label, the solo project of Olafur Josephson, also known as Stafren Hakon. So this I've heard, and from the name alone, I presume that the artist is Icelandic, because Olafur is a typical Icelandic name, I feel. And this album, Patterns, was written and recorded between December 2021 and February 2023 with the help of friends and members of the project, Stefan Hakon, which has, I'm pretty sure this has released on Sound and Silence, as well as a project band. I'm not too sure at the moment what this was, but the name is, the writing is pretty much familiar to me, and was mastered in his Vogor studio in February of last year. Acoustic guitars, live drums and bass, so I guess post-rock once again, coming in with some keyboard layers and electric guitars and a few vocal pieces, but also instrumentals. And the idea was to explore the raw sound of acoustic guitar, which eventually progressed into more structured songs. So another post-rock, I guess Icelandic post-rock release coming in here, called O Pandolfo. This is, the artwork is pretty abstract, more like a real art piece, probably a photo of a canvas print or whatever that might be. Looks like this. The back looks like this, once again with the Sound and Silence logo, of course. Typical flat mechanism, and this is copy 062 of 200, with a pretty much colorful track list here. So it's a total of 10 tracks. Haven't looked into the playtime, but usually there are like more or less under an hour, I guess. So this is the full track list, and this is the CD. So post-rock from, or post-rock from Iceland, I presume, and looking at the CD, that might be like 35 minutes probably, more or less. So from what I can see here, well, it's hard to estimate, but well, one gets like a visual clue when one looks at the data like engraved into the CD, and one can like transfer that into like a rough time frame, I guess. And the second one is Great Panoptic Winter, This Time Alone. This is Sound and Silence 107, also released on November 23rd, if I read this correctly. That's a full thing. Great Panoptic Winter has released on the label, coming in now with a new album, This Time Alone. And the debut album, Wildness, was released on the label back in 2015. So I'm not 100% sure if I received that from the label. The artist name is definitely familiar, so I might have. But I would have to look that up. Maybe it's to be found in one of my very early unboxing videos, probably. This is the once in a decade collaboration of Jason Sweeney of Panoptic Electrical and Richard Adams of The Declining Winter. 6 tracks in here, which is half an hour long once again, and they swapped files in a period where the UK winter was pretty grim and the Australian summer. I guess Jason Sweeney is from Australia, if I'm not totally mistaken. Was pretty much hot, and as the UK and Australia are on the exact opposite, more or less, of the globe, it's pretty interesting to have this contrast, because now for me Germany is winter as well. In Australia they're approaching summer, even though like the year has ended. So it's like still something to wrap my head around, and they were like pretty moved by things, I guess, both artists, and have never met in person, which is interesting, but they are like in a kind of sonic conversation and inspired by the darker parts of their existence. So this could be ambient, dark ambient maybe, and this is like a very, I like this, what do you call this color? In German it's Ocker, I guess. That kind of earthy, not really brown but not really yellow thing. And I will use this as a thumbnail, I guess. Once again, the back looks like this. I also wonder who did this painting. So George, if you see this, or anyone related to the Sound and Silence label, please let me know, because I really like that. And this is a limited edition of 300 copies. We got the CD, The Great Panoptic Winter, The Time Alone, half an hour long probably, and we got also a track list, which is like a cutout of the painting actually in the background. Also on this brownish ochre beige, not really beige, it's like darker than beige, earthy color scheme. So well, I really like that. Reviews are to come for sure on my website nightstyles.de, which is to be found down there in the description box as well. And yeah, there are plans. Will be me and Doc Jones of the Crystal Apes will be sitting down for another podcast conversation in German actually next weekend, I guess, if everything goes right. And I have a mixed cast to come, which was supposed to be published in late December, and then it was told to me it would be published like last Sunday, but I still haven't seen it, so I gotta, well, check that out. But there's a mixed cast to come, new shows on Radio Flouka are to come for sure, and other things as well. Still waiting for the new Introduction release, which will get like a proper introduction video, of course, as soon as it arrives, and other things in progress. So Bass Junkie out for now. See you on the next one.